I hope everybody's doing good. Uday, good to see you. Sunita, Dwani. I love seeing your names almost every single day. We have so many people around the world who log in for these videos. Today I want to talk about two important, very different. I'm not going to be talking about nutrition today. In fact, if a lot of you who have been following me over the last 9 years, you would have noticed I speak not much about nutrition anymore. It is important, it is supportive to human health. But over the last 9 to 10 years, I've discovered something which is way more important than nutrition alone. It doesn't mean nutrition is not important. I'm talking about your emotional wellness. How you feel as a human being is way, way more powerful than the food that you eat. And it's simple, you don't need science to prove this. When you go to countries where there's poverty and children and adults are given like the remains of food and junk food and processed food sent from other countries, okay, what you're going to see is something very different. Okay, you're going to see the kind of diseases that they have are very different from the kind of diseases that we have. We have lifestyle diseases. They have diseases that come out of hygiene problems, malnutrition and all of that stuff. But yet, most of them are in an accepting mode. They're happy people. You see them smiling, you see them laughing, and then you come into mainstream cities and you see people that have organic food, they have access to gyms, and you look in the car after work, they're all sad, they're stressed out, they're depressed, and a lot of disease starts in the mind. It affects our physical body. In fact, a lot of the religious scriptures and spiritual scriptures also talk about how our thought processes and how when we renew our thoughts, it has a direct impact on every physical cell in the human body. And scriptures talk about this across different religions. So I'm not going to talk to you about nutrition today. I'm going to talk to you if someone's going through depression right now, or let me also change that. If someone's going through something in their life that's depressive, there's a big difference. Depression, absolutely. It is a condition. You need medication sometimes you don't. You need therapy sometimes you don't. And there are people who carelessly label themselves. Their negative self-talk keeps saying, I'm depressed, but they're not depressed. They just have a depressing moment in their day, or maybe a depressing day in their week. And there's a big difference between that. You may say, oh, all this traffic makes me depressed. That's not depression. That's your inability to accept it. And depression can be a chemical imbalance in the body at a physiological level. There could be an imbalance or a shortage of neurotransmitters in your body, and that's where medication comes in. But don't confuse the two. They're completely different. Today I'm going to talk about two things that can help you if you're feeling low, if you're feeling sad, if you're feeling angry, you have problems with your health, maybe you've been diagnosed with a disease, maybe you have problems with your finances, maybe you have problems in love and relationships, not just with your partner, could be with your siblings, could be with your friends, could be with your family. No matter what it is, you get my point. There are two things out of many that I want us to focus on. Number one, movement. No matter what, if you have two legs and you can move, use them. If you're in a wheelchair and you have the ability to move, move. If you're in a wheelchair but you have the ability to move your upper body, your arms, create some kind of movement through exercise. You can go through scientific research and literature after literature and you will find out one commonality. Movement and exercise works like an antidepressant. Now, it's not a replacement for your antidepressant. It can work like, which means it can give you the same kind of cocktails that are produced in our body naturally. Endorphins. That makes us feel good. So you may be feeling low in your life right now. Okay, you'll deal with it. There's a low point in your life. There's something going wrong. Exercise. Go for a walk. You don't want to lift weights. That's okay. Go for a walk. Do some movement. Go for a swim. Go for a dance class. Put some music on in your room and dance. But you'll say, oh, but I'm depressed. Okay, you have a depressing part in your life. It doesn't mean you can't dance. It doesn't mean you can't exercise. You see, we got to separate the emotion from the fact. A lot of us react to our emotions. Okay, I understand I'm not having a great day today. I'm not having a great day. I'm not feeling good. But let me separate that fact. Can I walk? Yes. Go for a walk because you will feel better. And now let's say you can't do that. That's okay. Create some movement if you can. If you cannot, let's move to the second point. It's not a choice. Do both of them. Pray. Talk to God. We live in a world today where some people need science to tell them whether they should pray or not. Some people need science to tell them and constantly waste a lifetime searching for God. I'm not asking you to believe. You choose what path you want. Whether you want to pray to the universe, you want to hug a tree, you want to pray to God, you find spiritual energy and energy healing, that's up to you. That's your choice. But the point is, try prayer. It is one of the most powerful, underrated, underutilized, natural, free tools that we have. And a lot of people say, Luke, how do I pray? Just talk to God. The same way you would talk to your shrink, you would talk to your therapist, you would talk to your best friend. Try talking to God about the things that you can't. Try talking to whoever it is that you follow, the universe, whatever it is. There is fate. It's about time humans lower their ego and pride and look within the body to see this. Where's this amazing intelligence come from? Well, your science can't answer that either. And look around the universe and see how many different kinds of animals there are, organisms, and we don't even have. Today I was reading a beautiful article in the news about starfish. Scientists for the longest time, for years, have been trying to find out where the head of a starfish was. And their research after many years, they have many heads. They have many, many heads on their limbs. Now, when you look at this, this is intelligence. You look at life with awe and curiosity, not with a critical mind all the time. You look at certain problems in life with a critical mind. We have two parts of our brain. We have the right hemisphere and we have the left. We have logical and sequential thinking, and we have emotional thinking and creative thinking. There's a reason why we have both, because we have to adapt around the way we see life. You can't look at life through one lens alone, and that's where the problem is. People living in boxes, drawn by society, drawn by science, think like this, eat like this, parent like this, sleep like this. No, we're all unique individuals. And the day we start to realize that is the day we stop becoming a victim to social media and diet plans and who said whom. You start to realize the amount of potential, talent, intelligence that you've not even tapped because you're constantly looking outside. You're constantly reacting to everything outside, trying to absorb 50 reels in a day. And even though those 50 reels could have been great content, you don't even remember them. Forget about remembering them. Most people don't even practice what they learn. So the point is, sometimes look within. Pray. What do you lose by praying? Is your ego and pride so high? Do we have so much of, shallowness in us that we would not try to have a life with faith? Because it is simple. Most human beings think they're in control all the time. And most are not in control all the time. There are very few things you and I are in control of. We're in control of our breath right now. I can slow down my breathing and have mental clarity to think of how I'm going to respond. I can use my breath to change my mood. I can use my breath to change my thoughts. I can use my breath to move from the sympathetic nervous system to the parasympathetic nervous system, which is health span, lifespan, longevity, prevention, recovery, everything. But the point is, we think everything that's happened in our life right now is our doing. No, we're being guided. All of you, just reflect over the last 10 years in your life. Do you really think everything that you've done has built you and put everything in your life together? The good and the bad. No, we're being guided all the time. And why? Why can we not look at prayer as a tool? Because we're waiting for science? Because it's too easy to do? Because it's too simple to do? But sometimes when you sit back and reflect and you look around life beyond social media, you start to instill two beautiful human properties in you: awe and curiosity. When you live a life with awe and curiosity, that's how you keep your inner child alive. That's how you're childlike, even when you're 50, 60, 70, and 80. And being childlike is longevity again. Being all the time constricted and contorted and, your blood vessels are all tight because you're tight on the outside. You think tight. You think only logically. You don't let your brain move between two hemispheres and look at life through different lenses. If I have a math problem, I will use the left side of my brain, not the emotional side of my brain. If I'm looking at human emotion and everything, I may use both sides of my brain. But the point is movement and prayer. Try them. And when you're doing your movement, let's say you're going for a 1 hour walk today, 15 minutes, talk to God. 5 minutes, talk to God. 10 minutes, talk to God. When you start to do this, to pray in the morning, your day goes better. Sometimes pray in the afternoon. Sometimes pray in the evening. Pray when you have a problem. Pray when you don't have a problem. Pray before you go to sleep. You see, we want to fit in meditation and pranayama and all of that. That's not a problem. But what about prayer? What about prayer? What about you talking to God? Because that builds you more faith. Sometimes you don't get the answers because a lot of people pray and they just jump back into their busy life. Sometimes you got to pray and listen. You got to pray and see during the day how answers may be coming into your life, or direction or guidance. Through prayer, we start to see all the mercy we get extended by the universe. God doesn't matter. How many of you right now are aware of the mercy and the grace that you receive from whoever it is above or the universe? We forget these things. And this makes us more compassionate, and it helps us to forgive more easily. Like my personal example, I find it easy to forgive. I find it easy to forgive only because of one reason. I'm constantly reminded. I remind myself of how many times I've been forgiven. So if I've been forgiven so many times, I've got to keep my ego and pride down. If it's been extended to me, I should extend it to other people, even though it may be difficult, even though it may hurt. Now that's my way of doing it. Everyone can have a different way of doing it because we're different people. So I'm not here to preach to you. I'm here to lead and inspire you that this works for me. Does it work for you? For someone else, they may just be highly religious and they're God-fearing and they will forgive. Everyone has different ways. But my point is, start adding prayer in your life. Look at what's happening around in the world. People trying to control the outcome of their disease. People trying to become richer and richer, out of control. They get it, they lose it. Or they get it and they lose their health. The point is, do all of these things. Prayer is not about you not aspiring. Prayer is not about you not having ambition. Prayer is what helps you have faith when there's fear. It helps us understand that we can reach out, we can share our problems, we can ask for guidance. Look around and look at the mercy. There's not one person in this audience today who has not been extended the gift of mercy, the gift of forgiveness, or the gift of grace. And when you start to look at these things, that automatically builds gratitude in you, and you want to extend it as well. So it's already built in all of us. We don't have to try. We don't have to try harder. We need to live more with consciousness and awareness to realize these things are already there. And that's how it is. Exercise and prayer. Exercise and prayer. A lot of people feeling low think they need to do something to solve their problem. Sometimes just pray. Sometimes just pray and do whatever else it is that you think you need to do. But don't think that you are in control. That's the first thing, to humbling ourselves. We are not in control. And when we are in control, we think we are. It's our ego and it's our pride. And you'll find yourself using power, authority. Sometimes you got to use that in certain instances in your life, designation, running certain things and stuff. But over and above that, when it comes to human beings, when it comes to you, your family, your loved ones, people around you, that doesn't work. Have a great day, everyone. Until next time, eat smart, move more, sleep right, breathe deep, and remember, you care is all about you.